Hello, I'm Danielle. Welcome. Today, obviously, we have a thrift makeover. Thrift flips, I feel like, are the quintessential make another man's trash into treasure. I love thrifting. My favorite part of thrift stores is always, the clothes, of course, is great, but I love the tchotchkes aisle of the thrift store. You know, it's just like right by the appliances is like always just the most useless crap of all time. That aisle always just tickles me. What I'm working with today, it's a really adorable wooden rocking horse, just miniaturized. When I saw it, I was like, oh, our miniature rocking horse. That just feels like such a bizarre item to me. I feel like a rocking horse is already kind of like a fun and bizarre toy, and then like a miniaturized one is like, okay. You'll see what I end up doing. I hope you enjoy it, or that it also makes sense what I did, or maybe you'll be surprised and it doesn't make sense but is also awesome. That's like my favorite thing, like something that I don't expect to make sense but then is like actually really cool and I'm like surprised by it. I like stuff like that. I'm glad you're here. Hey, I don't think you're subscribed. You should subscribe if you like it. If you don't like it, of course don't subscribe. Like, you don't need to hate watch me. Go find something you actually like. There's lots of things out there. Oh wait, let's do this. All right, we got OG Thrift Horsey. First, we're going in and we're removing them stickers and the little gross hand-holdy thing that actually was like a nasty hole left behind, which was unfortunate. And then we got a second sticker that we removed and a third sticker that, just between me and you, I did not remove. Now we're going in to give her a new mane. I tried to see if I could pull it out at first, but I couldn't, so I had to go in with them skizzers and give her a chop. And then I got out my handy dandy tweezers and like tweezed all that crud out. And then I couldn't like get everything, so I stuck an X-Acto knife in there. Surprisingly, the tail came off just like with one good pull. Now that we're nice and fresh, we're going to go in with some sandpaper just so that that paint can adhere, because I'm going to give it a paint. And then I washed it clean. Going to make sure I wash that wood. And then we're going in with some black paint. And I originally started off with just kind of like a cheaper, I don't know, I think that's like apple whatever paint. You know, like crappy craft paint. But I was actually a little bit unhappy, so I decided to upgrade my paint. And then now I'm going in to give my planter a nice paint. Oh, it's just a cheapy, like, dollar planter that I didn't even clean out, which ultimately was a terrible decision, but thank goodness was fine. I started with a base coat of yellow so that I could have a nice bright gold on top. Back to my horsey, going in with a more expensive paint that actually I'm really happy that I ended up doing. Gives it a much like richer, more saturated black that's also nice and like glossy finish. And then I go in and paint my planter gold on top of that there yellow. Now I'm preparing my mane. I just used pipe cleaners, and of course we're going for a rainbow because rainbow. Also, it's Pride Month, so that's cool. Nice. I would have done a rainbow regardless, but I like that it's relevant. Now, what I'm doing is I'm giving my planter some limbs. I'm giving him some leggies. I realize how odd that sounds, but bear with me. And I'm just trying to get the shape right. I had to go in and make some adjustments, and then I'm going to cut it out. My main problem with the horse when I first saw it was like, what is the point of this miniature rocking horse? And so, because I am a person of 2021, I immediately went, oh, maybe we can make it like a planter. So I did that. But then my next question was, well, why is a planter? just chilling on a rocking horse. So I had to make it make sense for myself, and thus the limbs. Now, I do realize that regular planters don't usually have appendages, but these will really factor in. You'll definitely see. Just trust me. Here I am going in to make some arms. And here's a question for you. Where did the pirate keep his armies? In his sleeveys. So yeah. And then I'm going to give my limbs a nice gold coat. And going for that second coat. It's not even completely dry either. I mean, do you ever do that? Do you ever rush the second coat and then regret it? Trying to save time and just end up wasting it. Here we are shaking up the Pascha. For some reason, I need 2 arms to do that. And we're giving him some star embellishments. Oh, here we go. I am the mother of every object I create, so most things contain my saliva. Maybe TMI. So I really want to love Posca paints. I love the idea of acrylic paint in a marker form. That's kick-ass. But I just kind of don't. I don't know if I'm pressing too hard, or I got like a cheap version, or I'm not like drawing on the right surfaces. I don't have very much control because I get a lot of splatter. Does anybody else have that problem? I don't know. When I see other people use Posca pens, it's like such a beautiful experience. But not me. So I ended up going in with the actual just gold paint and repainting. Here I am trying to show the difference. You can't really tell on camera, but believe you me, it was significant. And here I am using my black to just go ahead and like clean up any like little parts. That's what I like to use a Posca pen for the most, is just to clean up. And it's Mod Podge time. Now I am attaching my limbs. I did try to think of a clever way to do this originally. Like stick something in there so that you could adjust the limbs. Like a gold paper fastener as like almost like cheapy armature. I ended up being like, screw that. I don't need opposable limbs. I can just hot glue it because hot glue is shit. Is it just me or does it look like a gold chicken? I don't know. It's not supposed to be a chicken. But anyways, then I Mod Podge it, just so that it'll last as long as possible and make it a little bit more water resistant because it is a planter. And you just saw me braiding a rope for new hand holdies because that stick was lame. So I just braided some gold ribbon to make a rope. And now I'm going in to make my mohawk. I tried to get like an even amount of color ratio by like going back and forth from the pink to the purple and like working my way inwards. It worked out okay. I'm okay, happy with it. It would have been better if I would have done some math, which I feel like are the famous last words of like every artist. But there it is. See, it's fine. And now I'm making that tail. I'm sticking the pipe cleaners into the butthole. Of course, I asked for consent from my horsey first. It's important. But I actually had so many colors that I ran like the whole overflow with. So that looked a little awkward, but not terrible. And now I'm going in and making sure I don't have any excess hot glue because I love hot glue, but it can get kind of gross. Glue cobwebs and such, unless you make sure it's nice and clean. And here I am toying with the idea of giving him like a regular like horse mane over to the side. But I ended up thinking they just looked like a sad emo kid. And I hated it. Not that that's a bad look. I think it's a great look on sad emo kids, but like rainbow rocking horses, not so much. So I just go in for a little trim instead. Little cut. Yeah, and thus begins the endless futzing. Here I am trying to figure out the tail. It's long and crazy. My main problem with the tail is that I felt like it looked a little scraggly, but as before mentioned, the butthole already overflowed. So I couldn't put more pipe cleaners. I felt like that would have just been too much. So I tried to braid it and I hated that almost immediately. So I just cut it. And it was okay. I also toy with the idea of like putting a little scrunchie in the end. Here I am trying to do that. I don't know if it's because I just used the purple, but I didn't like that, so I ended up taking that out too. But that did give me the idea to just give it a little curl at the very bottom, just a little whoosh, and that was pretty good. That helped it be a little bit more cohesive. Oh, and here I am showing off my ribbon rope, and I just stick it in there, and I'm excited about it. I noticed that when I stuck in that ribbon rope that I had a little bit of parts that I missed, so I went in with my Posca to just clean that up. And here we are! There she blows! Woo! And I'm going to demonstrate the rocking. And it's only half completed. Stick around for beauty shots of the planter. Drum roll, please. Well, hello there, Cactus Star Child, riding your rainbow rocking horse throughout the galaxy. Welcome to the world, friend. What do you guys think? I kind of love it. I mean, is it too early for 2015 nostalgia? Yes. Is it a bit juvenile? Again, yes. However, it is a rocking horse, so I feel like that's the nature of it. I tried my best to punk it up. You can only go so far. I don't think it's my fault. I hope you like it. Or not. You know.